23. I stopped at Carl's house. I planned to beg him to come with me to the creepy old house, but he wasn't home. His mom reminded me that Carl's Little League every Saturday morning, so I was on my own. As I walked the 2 blocks, my heart pounded and my legs trembled as if they were rubber. You can't turn back, I told myself. You have to do it. You have to. I forced my way up to the tall hedges in front of the abandoned house. It was a bright, sunny morning, but tall old trees tilting over the house cast it in deep shadow. A huge tree had fallen in the center of the yard, limbs rotting, bark peeling. It sprawled in the tall weeds like a decaying skeleton. A torn shutter banged against one side of the house. Along the front wall, all of the windows were shattered. The roof sagged in the middle. A pile of old newspapers formed a gray mound on the porch. No signs of life. I took a deep breath. Then, keeping in the long shadows, I crept across the weed-strewn yard up to the front porch. Swarms of black ants crawled over the broken concrete. I stepped carefully around the yellow pile of old newspapers, up to the door. How do I get into this place? I asked. I can't just ring the bell. My head was spinning. I suddenly felt dizzy from fear. I pressed both hands against the door to keep myself from tumbling over, and the door creaked open. Dark inside. The tall trees didn't allow any sunshine to filter down. I leaned into the front hallway. No one in sight. The sour smell of dust and mold and decay greeted me. What a disgusting odor. So thick, I started to choke. Holding my breath, I stepped into the house, and something sticky wrapped around my face. Oh! I gasped. Cobwebs? Yes. I tugged them off my skin with both hands. Excuse me. I peered around. Cobwebs floated from the walls like ghosts. I took a step, then another. The floorboards creaked beneath my shoes. I can't do this, I realized. I'm too afraid. I can barely move. There's no way I can steal the crow and get away from here without being caught. Paula turns people into creatures, Iris said. She turns people into monsters. Where is Paula? I wondered. I wrapped my arms around myself to stop from shaking. I took a deep breath, and then another, and I stepped into a long, dark hall. Cobwebs brushed against my face, my arms. I ignored them and stared straight ahead, letting my eyes adjust to the dark. I saw doorways on both sides of the hall, all of them dark. At the far end, a pale rectangle of light poured onto the floor from an open door. Still hugging myself, I forced my rubbery legs to move. I made my way slowly, step by step, down the dark hallway. Halfway to the lighted room at the end, I stopped and listened. Where are you, Minnie? I asked silently. Flutter your wings. Call for me. Please, give me a clue. Silence. The only sound, my own shallow breathing. With a sigh, I crept the rest of the way. I stepped into the rectangle of the light on the floor and stopped again. I peered into the open doorway. A curtain of silver cobwebs hung halfway down the door. I bent down to see beyond the thick webs, but I didn't see much. Dark curtains over a dust-covered window, peeling gray wallpaper. Are you in there, Minnie? I wondered. Call now! Please, make a noise! No sound. I took another deep breath and stepped up to the door. I ducked under the cobwebs, crept into the room, and gasped. Next time, chapter 24. Happy Friday, guys. Have a great weekend.